Hello, my name is Keller, and today I'll be giving my persuasion brief. And for my audience, I have my beautiful wife, Bree. Alright, so what if I told you there's a man by the name of Ricky Garrard, and he can back squat 500 pounds, he can run a mile under 5 minutes, he can do 30 ring muscle ups in just over a minute, and he still has enough endurance to do a 5K run under 18 minutes. These are pretty incredible feats of athleticism. Well, what if I told you that he did it by doing CrossFit as his main source of working out and training methodology? Well, today I'm going to talk about just that. I'm going to talk about what is CrossFit? What is the methodology? What do they believe in? What are the benefits of CrossFit? I'm even going to touch on some of the misconceptions of CrossFit. And I'm going to talk about how CrossFit and the military already have ties. I found CrossFit about 13 years ago, and it's completely changed my life for the better. In fact, it's kind of crazy to think that I used to be a 15-year-old chubby boy that would hide in the porta potty just to avoid sprints at the end of football practice, to now every day I look forward to a hard, grueling, intense CrossFit workout. But what is CrossFit? And how did it go from being an underground training methodology to one of the biggest names in the fitness industry? Well, in 2000, Greg Glassman founded CrossFit, and now it has 10,000 gym affiliates worldwide. But what is CrossFit? Well, according to the CrossFit Level 1 training guide, CrossFit is defined as constantly varied functional fitness performed at a high intensity. Great, but what does that actually mean? Well, a CrossFit workout takes elements of weightlifting, gymnastics, cardio, and endurance and combines them all into one workout. But the cool thing is about CrossFit workouts is that they're never the same. They're always different. They're constantly varied, right? And they're supposed to be performed at a high intensity. Now that you have the basic idea of what CrossFit is, let's talk about the methodology of CrossFit. Now, the CrossFit methodology has two key elements, all right? It has functional movement and it has nutrition. So what is functional movement? Well, kind of how I was talking about a CrossFit workout has gymnastics, weightlifting, cardio, and endurance. Well, that is what functional movement is. It's doing movements, exercises that use your whole body, use multiple muscles at one time, compared to your traditional gym sets where you're doing bench press or biceps or triceps extensions, where you're using one muscle in isolation, okay? Functional movement is to prepare you for life, to get you ready for life, such as taking in the groceries, picking up your kids, maybe you gotta respond to an emergency, moving furniture, or meeting the physical needs of the military. The other key element for the methodology of CrossFit is nutrition, and it keeps it simple. When it comes to nutrition in CrossFit, they say to eat whole foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, vegetables, some fruits, and stay away from processed foods and added sugar. The thing is, you can't outwork a bad diet. You can go to the gym for hours and train and train and train, but if you're not fueling your body with proper nutrition, you're really hindering yourself from performance and recovery. But I know what you may be thinking. I heard CrossFit's dangerous. You're gonna get hurt doing CrossFit. Well, I'm glad you brought it up, so let's talk about it. I can't sit here and say, oh, no, CrossFit and injuries, they don't go together, because that's not true. Injuries happen in CrossFit, but injuries happen in every sport, in every exercise. The real question is CrossFit more dangerous than other sports and exercises? Well, in the Journal of Sports, researchers Rios, Pine, and Fernandez, they examined dozens of studies comparing CrossFit training to other training like weightlifting, gymnastics, running, and military activities. And what they found is that CrossFit injuries are similar to, and even in some cases, lower than the other activities just mentioned. So the answer is no, CrossFit is not more dangerous. Now that we've kind of talked about that misconception and addressed it as a misconception, let's talk about the benefits of CrossFit. You see, I've been doing CrossFit for 13 years now. And the thing is, I feel great. I love it. I'm stronger. I'm fitter. I'm faster. And I will never stop doing it for this foreseeable future. But don't just take it from me. Take it from the Journal of Sports, okay? I'm sorry, the Journal. My apologies. The Review of International Journal of Athletics and Therapy and Training. And where they studied CrossFit training and how it improves your fitness and overall health and the quality of life. And they did multiple researches and to see what they would find. And what they found is that yes, CrossFit makes you stronger, it makes you faster, helps with muscle growth and muscle endurance. But they also found that CrossFit can help with your mental health and accountability because CrossFit has such a big community. When you go to a CrossFit gym, you meet lots of people, make lots of friends, and that community makes you feel a part of something, which helps with your mental health and feeling accountable to continue to be a better version of yourself. So you can kind of see CrossFit has great benefits. It can do a lot of great things for you. And that's why you see me pushing to everyone, but specifically military members, Air Force members, that they should do CrossFit because it's going to help them get fit and get in alignment with the Department of War's initiative and demands to have physically fit service members year round. Now, you may not know this, but CrossFit and military already have ties. In fact, did you know that the U.S. Army has a fitness team that participate in CrossFit? Yeah, they're called the U.S. Army Warrior Fitness Team. Okay, and they compete in major CrossFit events every year. In fact, you can even try out for that team if you're in the Army. But there's more connections. In fact, in an article written by Stephanie Roquette titled "CrossFit's Not for the Elite, It Never Was," she goes on to explain how when CrossFit first started, it actually really gained a lot of popularity in units like the Navy SEALs, Recon Marines, and Army Special Forces. They would use CrossFit style workouts for selection processes and military assessments. But the connection goes even further. There's a man by the name of Dave Castro. He's been the director and programmer of the CrossFit Games for the last 20 years. And he actually talks about in an interview he did with Paleo Foundation, he talks about how he found CrossFit. In fact, he was a Navy SEAL, and he found CrossFit while he was in the military. And in the interview, he talks about how he went on 3 deployments pre-CrossFit, and then he found CrossFit, he started training CrossFit, and then he went on 3 deployments after CrossFit. And he talks about how he felt so much better, so much fitter, so much healthier. So you can see that if special units, military units, combat veterans consistently use CrossFit to stay strong and resilient and to stay healthy, you can see why everybody should maybe do it, but especially military members should take a deeper look into CrossFit and really check it out. So what did we talk about today? We talked about what CrossFit is, constantly varied functional fitness performed at a high intensity. We've talked about the benefits, gaining strength, mental health, body composition. We talked about the methodology, functional movements, nutrition. And we also talked about how CrossFit has ties with the military. So before I let you go, I want you to think about this. If anybody, but especially if you're in the military, I want you to really think about CrossFit because it will help you get fit and strong and ready. But all these directives coming down from the Department of War to making sure that we have physically fit service members ready year round, CrossFit, it's going to get you there and you will be ready. Thank you.